Let's bring on our next guest, Don Schmidt, who is the chairman of the board, the president, and the CEO, Rapid Therapeutic Science Labs. There he is. Don, how are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I see your slides. There they are. Look at that. All right, I'm going to hop off here and give you the floor.
Great. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. My name is Don Schmidt. As the moderator noted, I'm the CEO of Rapid Therapeutic Science Laboratories. I note that we don't have a lot of time today, and I want to leave a couple of minutes for people to ask questions if they'd like. Appreciate everybody's time. So let's jump to the third slide in our presentation, and obviously the presentation is available through Benzinga for a period of time. Nevertheless, we are an aerosol company that is in the hemp space. We manufacture meredose inhalers with pharmaceutical grade isolates in a certified laboratory here in Addison, Texas. Of note, meredose inhalers, of which many people are familiar. They've seen them a lot of times with people who are asthmatics or have COPD. It's a very preferred way of delivering medication through the lungs if certain criteria are met. In this instance, we use patent pending isolates, and we use other FDA approved ingredients and excipients to deliver medication, which CBD, cannabidiol, is considered a drug under the FDA. We use that to deliver CBD to the lungs. We launched our second inhaler brand in 2020. It was a consumer-focused brand. We made the decision to take it off the market and pursue FDA approval through an IND. I would ask everybody that's watching this broadcast today to take a few minutes sometime today or as soon as practical, take a look at our current filings. They'll give you a lot more direction and a much broader discussion of what we have time for today. Nevertheless, an investigational new drug application with FDA, we made a decision that was optimal way for us to pursue the use of cannabidiol in delivery of the medication into the systemic bloodstream. And so in doing that, we are prohibited from selling our metered-dose inhalers with CBD under FDA rules. So we made a decision to pursue that. We were fortunate that all of our aerosol equipment works on other aerosol products, and so we'll get to how that fits into our business model shortly. But we believe we'll ultimately be successful in our IND simply because of the fact that we have been able to come up with a metered-dose inhaler using this pharmaceutical grade isolate that removes the biggest challenge that people face with any drug in front of the FDA that's delivered through the lungs, and that's airway irritation. We're not the first group to try this. We're just the first group we believe has perfected this. Nevertheless, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on why metered-dose inhalers are so effective or why the medical community likes them the way they do. That information is available on our website and is available in this presentation further down. Nevertheless, we are morphing into what I would call a little pharmaceutical company. We're beginning to associate ourselves with the pharmaceutical space through our outside activities. We've talked about our patent pending pharmaceutical grade isolates. We make these isolates based upon the way that Big Pharma manufactured any medication for the aerosol space. And in fact, you can read in our filings and some of our press releases that we have former employees of Glaxo and Pfizer who are come out of the aerosol space that have worked with us extensively in developing our devices. Nevertheless, since we made the decision to pursue the IND with our flagship product, we didn't want to be just a one-horse show, so to speak, and we made arrangements to pursue the marketing of other branded products using pharmaceutical-grade cannabinoids, such as not only CBD but CBG, in something other than a pulmonary spray, like an MDI. So we'll take those isolates and we'll deliver them in what is known as novelty sprays, either sublingual or topical. I know that you guys have seen other sublingual products, and you've also seen topical products. Our machinery that makes our meredose inhalers allows us to make those products. For instance, we'll be going to market, not in the fourth quarter as this slide shows, but in the first quarter, hopefully, with a new product line that's branded under the name Yoka. That product line will have both cannabinoids in it for sublingual sprays. It'll also have topical sprays, and it will have non-cannabinoid products. If you're reading our filings this morning, you'll see that we've got a very clean balance sheet and a very properly positioned capital structure. It's a well-known fact that we are pursuing an uplisting to a national exchange. And so that's what we're primarily working on at this point in time, is the pursuing of the listing on a national exchange and the investigational new drug application with the FDA. And I know that I've kind of run through that a little quickly, but if you took a look at our recent press releases, you'd understand why where we are in our business model. We are leaving our laboratory that we've been in for 2 years. We are building a new lab that's approximately 5 times bigger to house both our filling equipment, which is all FDA listed equipment, and our isolate lab. That new lab will be is being built up the street about a quarter mile from where I'm sitting here in Addison, Texas, which for those of y'all that don't know where Addison is part of North Dallas. So we're packing up and moving out of here. So we're having to hustle to make sure that we have plenty of product on hand for our anticipated phase 1 studies this spring, while we're under the current constriction with breaking our existing lab down where we're building a new one. So we've got a lot of things going on. There's a lot of exciting times in this market that we're trying to take advantage of. Obviously, we're wanting to be one of the first players in the CBD space to get through an FDA approval process, and at the same time use our excess capacity to manufacture pharmaceutical grade isolate at a pharmaceutical grade level. I'll note that the patent pendings that we have talked about are slowly being converted into non-provisional patents, and we anticipate we'll have some more patents just based on R&D and what we're doing in that space. One of the advantages of R&D in the space we're in is that we're small and nimble. So if we run across something that seems promising, we can quickly turn to it. For instance, water-soluble CBD isolate. So far, I'm unaware that anybody's come up with anything that's truly water soluble. They're all dispersibles. But we're one of these companies that, because we're handling isolates on a daily basis in a manufacturing facility in an R&D lab, and we're doing it to pharmaceutical standards, we're able to I'm going to use a big pharmaceutical word here, play with the idea of water soluble in our lab. So that's one of the things about the fact that we're still small enough we can do things like that. At the end of the day, I think 2022 will be a good year for us, in the sense that we've managed to fulfill most of the business model objectives that we listed in 2021. I know that everybody on this call has had enough of COVID and the interruptions it's made to them, not only in their business models, but with respect to funding, sales, and so forth. We're not any different. We had fairly significant revenue when we released our prior branded model the week that COVID started. But we were like everybody else. It's hard to go see physicians when nobody can get in to see them. So, we worked through that. At the same time, while we couldn't get out and actively market our products, we were in the laboratory, and that's reflected in the patents that we filed so far. So we've come through 2021 relatively unfazed as a company, other than we expect to, upon listing on a national exchange, to accelerate the activities that we do. And that'll be our first goal here in the first quarter of 2021. Our second goal will be to get products back out on the street. Yoka will primarily be a distributor product and will be primarily sold through distributors with some online digital activity. We built a entire marketing platform around Yoka and other similar branded products that we will develop that use these pharmaceutical grade isolates. So I've quickly jumped through that simply because at the end of the day, we have released our plans. We've pretty much executed on our plans. And now here at the end of the year, we're transitioning to the next phase in this company. I like to tell people that we're telling them what we're going to do, then we do it, and we told them we've got it done. And that's kind of where we are. So I invite you to take a look through this presentation so you'll understand why we're so excited about aerosol and why it makes a lot of sense for our product. Let's just jump down here real quick because my guys in the aerosol space would be a little bit offended if I didn't give you guys just a little bit of background. Needless to say, a metered-dose inhaler is basically as effective as an IV, and the dosage is very consistent. When you have a systemic metered-dose inhaler, you deliver medication into your deep lung tissue. This is the same thing that you get when you smoke or you vape, except in this instance, we have an engineered particle size that has a much higher bioavailability. And simply that's human physiology. It's not complicated, but it's expensive to formulate and to research. These inhalers are already in drug master files with other medications. So with our IND, we're just tasked with convincing the FDA that the ice that we're using is safe and provides some sort of efficacy with respect to a therapeutic claim. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel with this product. We just had to do the research in order to get it to work correctly. You can see some of the benefits of metered-dose inhalers on this screen right here. If you're not familiar with them, we're all about safety. We don't touch or use anything that's hasn't already been used in this space in aerosol, other than our isolates. The other thing about metered-dose inhaler are they're very quick. You get very accurate dosing, and they're very fast acting. I tell people that you typically can fill them immediately, and I've seen that happen numerous times in testing. You can feel the product anywhere between seconds and a couple of minutes. So in a product that's meant to be utilized for a therapeutic relief, the faster that you can get it to work, the better off the consumers, in this instance, patients, will be. Dosing is very problematic right now in the CBD industry. Nobody really knows what safe dosing is. This will be one of the things we'll cover in our IND, and that there are a few other firms covering an IND in oral consumable products that are going on that we're aware of. But nevertheless, the best part about a metered-dose inhaler is you get it, and the reason why it's called metered is simply because you get the same dose every time. So physicians don't have problems with dosing with their patients. These are the benefits of a metered-dose inhaler. At the end of the day, this is why we were so excited about them. Very simple device to utilize and to manufacture once your formulations are correct. We've already talked about accurate dosing. It doesn't require any heat or fire like vape does. Our metered-dose inhalers contain 100 doses. It's inexpensive. People say, Don, why do you, besides the medical side of this, how are consumers going to be interested in, or why are they going to be interested in buying your product? Well, we can deliver cannabidiol, CBD, in your bloodstream for about 30 cents retail with a metered-dose inhaler. That's about 80% cheaper than the closest gummy and about 90% cheaper than the closest vape pen. And I'm talking about high-quality gummies or high-quality vape pens. It's just you need a lower dose through your lungs simply because when it's absorbed in your deep lung tissue, the dose goes up your aorta to your brain. It doesn't go through your liver, so it's not degraded in that process. It's portable. It fits in your pocket or your purse. It's tamper-resistant. Doesn't need batteries. It's waterproof. So there's a lot of advantages to it. So needless to say, we started this about 4 years ago. We've been improving it ever since. we bought a company along the way to help us with the isolate production, and then we approached former guys with Big Pharma to help us polish it at the end of the day. But needless to say, when you use our product on the meredose inhaler side, you get a exquisitely good dose of CBD that has nothing else in it. You're only using an isolate when it removes all the things that are contained in full spectrum oil that you probably don't want in your lungs, and you may not want in your system through an ingested product. And these are consumer education things that we talk about all the time, and our presentation has a full list of those in it. So we've talked about value and what one inhaler equates to. I tell people that one inhaler equates to about 1,000 gummy bears. Our gummy products with CBD. Most people don't believe it until I prove it to them mathematically. So if you've got questions about that, I'd love to talk to you individually. So like I said, the inhaler product was our second branded product. And then we're moving into the sublingual spray and topical spray area. Obviously, the sublingual spray, anything containing CBD, will be sold under their safe harbor provisions related to no therapeutic claims. All the other cannabinoids are currently considered supplements, but we still shy away from making any claims. We make structural functional claims, and you can see this in our marketing material related to our sublinguals. Like I said, this is a picture of our old laboratory. It's being disassembled, and all of our proprietary equipment is being moved to our new facility, and we should be up and running again by the end of the first quarter. Last is just a management team and the guys that assist us in research and development. So I think we've only got a couple minutes left. I've learned that if I get too far in the weeds about the technical aspects of what we do, we're going to run out of time. So I think I've got about 2.5, 3 minutes left. So I want to take any questions from the moderator, anybody who's watching the presentation this morning, and tell you if you would like to discuss a potential investment with us. Please feel to reach out through Benzinga or through Core IR, who's handling our marketing for us. And we have a website that you can contact me through directly. It doesn't come to me directly, but through my staff, info@rtslco.com. So with that said, I think we have about 2 minutes left. Go ahead.
Question from our chat here. Is your product similar to Mankind's Afeza? I hope I'm saying that right. It's from David Lynn.
I'm not familiar with their product. I know that there's a few other companies out there that are trying to do this. And I use the word trying because it is very difficult, and there is some disinformation in the marketplace.
Yep. What is the most difficult thing about it?
Well, from a human physiology standpoint, you can't just put something in a can and pressurize it and expect it to get in your deep lung tissue. If we go back just real quick to this slide right here, to this slide right here. This is a picture of your alveoli and your deep lung. There's between 500 and 700 million of these in your lung tissue. It's where oxygen CO2 gas exchanged. In order to put a medication in your systemic bloodstream through your lungs, you've got to get your medicine through the neck of the alveoli, which is about 5 microns in diameter. If the particulate that's being sprayed down there is too big, it won't go in. If it's too small, it won't stay in because it's molecularly too light. Cigarette and vape is a fine example. They only have about a 31% bioavailability rate simply because the molecule is nano, it's submicron. And so engineering that droplet size to get into that alveoli is a very technical scientific process, and it has to be done in conjunction with a number of different things, not only your formula, but the consumables that make up your product. Everybody else in this space thinks you could just put a formula together and spray it out, and it's going to come out with the right size liquid drop to be absorbed through the deep alveoli. That's factually impossible. And that's why these products on the pharmaceutical side, something such as Advair or Salbutamol, those products are engineered at great expense over great time, and it's not a fast process. So Yeah, it's a difficult. There's been beliefs out there that you could just pressurize something, and when you spray it, you can't tell the size of the droplets in the aerosolized spray. You can only see that it is aerosolized. You have to have special equipment to measure the size of droplets and so forth. So it's a
This is
very
so interesting.
very unique physics
Yeah.
experiment.
This is so interesting to me because like I've asthma. I've been taking an inhaler for basically my entire life. I've been taking an inhaler probably for like 27 years ish. So this has been enlightening for me. So thank you very much, Don Schmidt, who's the chairman of the board, president, and CEO of Rapid Therapeutic Science Labs. Thanks a lot, Don. Have a good one.
You bet. Thank you. You guys have a great afternoon. Bye bye.